Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Oliz and welcome back to Age of Engineering. In the last episode, we were doing some work around the base, getting some stuff set up, and, well, going to space more. We have been going to space pretty regularly here lately, because we need a couple more things for Mekanism. So hopefully today, what the plan is we are going to go get the last of the resources we need, from all the other planets, set up little tiny bases on all the planets, and more importantly, have everything ready so that we can start getting a mechanism building going and setting things up. Now, I want to point out something. I did a little bit of building, not much, just kind of redesigning and just making these hallways between the rooms of the main section 3 tall instead of keeping them at the same height. Makes this so much better. I like it a lot better. So that's what we're going to go with. And yeah, I did a lot of prep work between episodes, making a bunch of various things, such as Do the Void, and telepads, machine frames, and rods of return. And we're almost ready to make 3 matter receivers. But before we do, we have a little bit more stuff to do, and that is processing some tantalum. So if we look at tantalum, we can alloy smelt it for 1 to 1, crush it for 2. Okay, multiple crushers. So we're gonna crush it in here. Let's go ahead and crush a stack of it, and then I'm gonna put the rest in here for things later. Don't need that dirt. And we need to make some advanced circuits. And in order to do that, we're going to actually use mechanisms. So it's a little bit cheaper, a little bit easier, and definitely better. Should be a lot quicker too. So something we can do, if we take that out, we can enrich redstone, and we're going to get some redstone enriched and continue getting some biofuel. And we're going to need a good number of enriched alloys. So if we were to put a single piece of redstone in here, it would give us, I believe it's, 10 redstone. That is not bad, not great. That will make us, what, 1? I believe it's 10 for 1. Yeah. If we put compressed redstone, we get 80. So it's a lot better. So I'm just going to put a good bit of redstone in there and let this kind of run for a bit. Now, one of the big things is in order to get to the next part of Mekanism, which is storing power, believe it or not, that's kind of a sticking point in this mod pack. We need to get the next material. We need for that cadmium. Cadmium is on Neptune, and the reason we're making 3 matter receivers is because I'm hoping that we can not worry about going back to the moon, but I have a funny feeling we're going to need to go back to the moon. And that's not a big deal. It just means that we need to have some stuff there. So before we do too much more, we're going to need to get... what were we using? We were using the starch extractors. So we're going to want 3 of these. We got anything new? No, of course not. Most of the things we don't have are fairly rare, so don't expect to see that ever filled up completely. So we're going to need starch extractors. We're going to need cobblestone. We're going to take like a few triple compressed cobblestone. I think that would be good enough. We're going to want some coal, 3 stacks worth, and we're going to want... So I'm going to put most of the stuff in here. So those, 1, 2, 3, plenty of blocks. And then something I keep forgetting to take, not the saplings, those we're going to need for the starch extractors. But something I keep forgetting to take is glowstone. It would be handy to have like maybe a stack of glowstone. Half a stack. We can go with a half a stack. So let's see how things are going. So in here we have a stack of powdered tantalum. Now this stuff we need to smelt up or however we want to. I think we're going to go ahead and use the alloy furnace. I need to get another one set up at some point, and I literally threw this sag mill there. I haven't done too much work getting things set up. I'll be honest, this series has kind of, I've not wanted to play it too much, I'll be honest, but oh well. That happens sometimes. I just kind of get to a sticking point where I don't want to do some of the automation and whatnot that's kind of required. So it's something that I kind of avoid. Anyways, we can come up here. We're going to need 24 tantalum turned into plates. So tantalum, we're going to need 24. And if we turn them into plates, that will give us all of the advanced circuit boards we're going to need for making the matter receiver. So pretty easy. They get turned into plates like everything else. The plates are just kind of weird. They don't interact well, but it doesn't matter. They work well. So with that, what all do we need to do? By the way, we have like almost a stack. We have over a half a stack of singularities now, which is not too bad. I can't complain about that. Oh, right, that's what I need to do. I need to go back and get more alloys. So yeah, that's not too bad. We'll be using those relatively soon, and we have plenty of that. So if there's 30, we're gonna need like 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we could probably just fill this up with the compressed redstone, but I don't actually want to do that. Let's make sure that has plenty of biofuel. And yeah, that will kind of do its own thing. We're going to do half a stack worth. So 30, 300. Perfect. And everything else we'll worry about later. So with that taken care of, we should be able to make the advanced circuits and go from there. So if we look at the teleporter advanced circuits, we just need 12 of these, and we should be able to make 12 telepads. It wants to make more. It needs 36 of those. Okay, that's a lot more than I thought. Oh, because advanced? No. What else needs it? Wait, what am I doing? We need 3 of these. That's all we need. We need 3 of them. So that'll be enough to do everything we need. And then we can get the matter receivers and head off to space. So what we're going to do, and this is kind of silly, but we're going to completely ignore the moon for as long as we can. If we need to, we will go to the moon and we'll do the moon things when it is basically time and appropriate and needed. Until it's needed, we're not going to worry about it. So what does that mean? Well, basically, we're going to go back to our spaceship. We are going to, which we should grab our stuff. I'm going to get rid of some levels as well. So we should have teleporters. What takes so long? Advanced alloy. If that takes too much longer, we might want to go check on that. I've been having some issues with Applied Logistics. Some of the automation we've set up just not wanting to work quite right. Not entirely sure why. It just is. And that's just slow. Okay. I should have figured as much. Unfortunately, the compressors are just really, really slow. Anyways, so let's get out of here. Let's power up our battery and then make sure we're topped up on oxygen. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to go to the space station. We're going to try to go to Neptune. Because cadmium is the more important one currently. Cadmium allows us to make cadmium plates, which gives us the ability... no, it's not the plates. Is it powder cadmium? Yes. Powdered cadmium gives us the ability to make energy tablets, which is required for things like the basic energy cubes, or well, we're going to need them for some of the other things. Wind generators. Wind generators are really good. I don't know if we're going to go with solar. Actually, I know what we're going to go with, and that requires liquid mercury, which is on Mercury, which we'll get to in a second. That gives us the electrolytic core, which gives us access to the gas burning generator and the electrolytic separator. Both are very useful, very powerful, and we're going to be using mostly ethylene. I think maybe ethylene, maybe just burning regular gases. It doesn't matter what kind of gas we burn, but so there's one. Two. And 3. Perfect. But we're going to be burning gases to get all of our power, which is pretty powerful. It's one of the best energy sources in Mekanism. Second best, I think, technically. But it's still really good, and that's what we're going to go with. So, spacesuit on. Let's go ahead and refill oxygen if we can. Just make sure we have plenty. And yeah, we're pretty much ready to go back to space. I just want to drop off our armor before we do. And like I said, we're going to try to go to Neptune. We're going to go up to our space station. We have plenty of rocket fuel, but we're going to go to our space station first. We're going to dial that once. And kind of the whole idea with this is we're going to try to go to Neptune if we have enough dilithium crystals. If we don't, then we will go back to the Earth and do some other things. So I kind of forgot that we need other things as well. I don't know that we need these planetary chips. I'll take the space station ID chip. Do I have a second one of those up here? No. What is in here currently? Nothing. Okay. Fair enough. So we'll mess around with things. I forgot to grab energy conduits. Do we have any energy conduits? No, not in there. We have a few. Alright, cool. So basically we're not going to worry about going to the... We're going to go to the planets if we can. So we are at Eris. Let's select the planet. We want to go to Neptune. That costs 173 fuel, and it looks like we have enough. So that is the biggest question, is do we have enough fuel to actually get to these places? If we do, great. If we don't, we got to go to the moon and set things up. And what we're going to do with that is just kind of, okay, we have the enhanced energy. Okay, everything is fine. Let's get on here. Select destination, Neptune. I think we do need the planetary chips. Alright, so that's not a big deal. We can head home. We're going to want, for now, 2 planetary chips. And then we can have everything ready. So that's all we need to do. Yeah, because I don't need to make a copy of these, to be honest. And I believe they are just 2 of these and 2 of those. Perfect. So let's put 1 in our bag. And these are enhanced. Cool. So now we can go back to our space station and do all this stuff. So nothing too major here. The biggest thing we have to remember is we need to send the rocket back to the space station. We'll ride the rocket back to the space station after we get things kind of set up and get a little bit of stuff. So we want to select destination, Neptune. Man, I don't remember how to do this. It's been a little bit. Guidance computer. Planet ID chip. No, I did not want to do that. Oh, no. Oh, man, that is sad. Alright, well, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to take this back to Earth. We're probably going to go to the moon. So, you know what? Let's just go to the moon. That is really sad. So what happened is I accidentally clicked disassemble. I wish there was like a confirm or something. But I accidentally clicked disassemble, which means that that rocket is no longer a rocket. We have to reassemble it. And that is right here. Now, I guess technically we could set it up so that we could like I mean, I guess technically I could build that up there and launch it, reassemble it, but that seems awful. So what I'll do is I will bring the space station back, and we'll get things taken care of. But what I want to do for the moon is we're gonna get. I guess let's just do at advanced. Do I not have any more liquid fuel tanks? I thought I did. Oh man. Are they lying around somewhere? I swore I had another set of rocketry things. Maybe I don't. There is the off chance that it's in the overworld. Oh, right, I lost a rocket in the overworld somewhere. That's right. Okay, so I guess what we're gonna do, let's head back to the space station. Space station, why can't I? There we go. We're gonna go back to the space station. We're gonna send it back to the overworld. And man, this is not fun. Back to Earth. And now we don't, oh man. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to deconstruct this rocket in space. Oh man, this is so many problems just because I messed one little thing up. No big deal though. Like it's gonna be tedious to kind of do all this stuff, but it's also gonna work out just fine. So we need to go back home. We need to reassemble this rocket, go to the moon, get dilithium, get our space station back to Earth before heading out. We could probably go from the moon to the space station, would be fine. And oh man, get everything taken care of. So let's just get this rocket built again. Luckily, I don't like making like complicated rockets. We could, but I don't want to. And then a seat. Scan. Build. And then we're going to need to set everything up. Guidance computer, we're going to Luna. We need to refuel it. And take off. So I will tell you guys what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to cut the episode here. I'm going to set up a base. You know what? We're going to wait on that. Let's get to the moon. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to basically do a lot of the space stuff off camera. Because this is already taking quite a while. So I'm going to do a lot of the space stuff off camera. Come back. I'll bring you guys in once I get onto. We're gonna go Neptune first. So once we get to Neptune, I will bring you guys back in. On that, we'll set up the base, get some of our first ore, and then I'll do the same thing for Mercury. And this is just gonna be a pain of an episode for me to deal with. But man, once we're almost done with the advanced rocketry stuff, there's not much more for us to do. At least in terms of like getting everything taken care of, and what do I want to say? Getting like, getting all the ores. Once we get all the ores, once we get bases on all the planets, we'll never have to go back to those planets this way. We'll be able to do it the magic cheaty way of just using our transporters. So we're gonna need to get dilithium here. So we're gonna need. I cannot open that. Okay, that is fine. That worked just fine. We're gonna take this out, and I want to put the space station ID chip in there. So that will take us to the space station. Now I don't know if we can go directly there, just because the space station is technically above. Well, it's technically above Neptune currently, so I don't think. Oh man, I didn't mean to do that. All right, we'll put that in there. So I don't think we can actually do anything like that. I could test it. I might look into that, because if I could, that'd be a lot easier. But we're gonna get some cobblestone. I want to make just a cobblestone base right over here. So what? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just a square little house. We don't really need to make it a house, but we're gonna put starch extractor. Actually, let's do it this way. We're going to put a starch extractor to a matter receiver. We're going to name this Moon. Put those in there. Get this powered. And we should probably put mark waypoint new let's say base. That works. Enable off. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to find some place to dig down. Didn't I dig down? Yeah, right over here is a cave. So I can dig down there. But I'm just going to dig down. We're going to get some dilithium, and then I can start working on getting our rocket back up to the space station so we can go to Neptune. So I will tell you guys what, I am going to cut the episode here. I will bring you guys back in once we land on Neptune and get things started there. So I will be right back. Alright, so that took a little bit of time just trying to get things sorted and everything back to where it was before we messed up. Oh man, space travel is not my friend. But before we go to Neptune, which the space station is currently at Neptune. I don't know why I'm looking up like it's going to be up there, but it's currently at Neptune. The rocket's on there. We just have to go up and go down to the surface. Before we do, I want to go ahead and make a drill mining augment 2, which is an upgrade for our drill. Requires some diamantine crystals and empowered Inori crystals and advanced coil. I wanted to show this off before we do anything with it. But basically, we can add this to our... Let's do it that way. We can add this to our drill, and now it will drill a 5x5 instead of a 3x3, which is going to make it easier to go mining. Now, let me just make sure I have everything I want. Everything's cleared up and whatnot. Okay. So, space station, dial once. But yeah, I wanted to bring you guys back in for that, just because I don't like making anything too major off camera, just because I know it kind of irks me a little bit. But we have select destination, Neptune, select, and that should have programmed our planet ID chip, and we can go down to Neptune. So yeah, I am going to do basically the same exact thing again once we have a little bit of, what is it here? It's cadmium. We're going to want to look into exactly how to get cadmium. But basically, I'm going to go down to the planet's surface. We'll set up our little base. I don't know if there's any planets that actually have mobs in this mod pack. At least any of the normal solar system, our solar system, like a real life solar system, Neptune, Pluto, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if there's any that actually have mobs on them, but it is something that is kind of a concern. If they do, we want to make sure that there's not any issues. So make sure our base is nice and safe. And yeah, so here we are on Neptune. It's gonna probably look a lot like everything else has. We'll get some cobblestone out. And where exactly is the cadmium ore? Around Y20, 25. Okay, it's easy enough. So once again, we have a lot of beehives. Bees is something we are going to have to get into relatively soon, probably. Not really looking forward to that, but for whatever reason, I don't know why all of these are the way they are. But alright, let's take out that chip, put the station chip back in. We'll ride that back up to the station here in a moment. Before we do, gravity is much heavier here, to be sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same thing as before. And doesn't look like there's any mobs here, but we're still gonna make things. All right, that requires a shovel. We're gonna still make things look kind of nice, so we're gonna put that there. Get this guy all set up so we can start generating some power. And I'm not going to worry about building this up, but we are going to want to make a little bit of a mine relatively close. So let's just do something like this. Sure, let's just... Oh my god, this is so weird. That was weird. That was even weirder. Okay, let's put the moon turf, because this is totally the moon, back up. And we need to get down to y equals... I am messing this up so badly. We need to get down to y equals 20. So the key to this is just, mine the bottom one, and it should be pretty good to get down here. That was a mistake. Let's just get rid of that one. Um, this is not going well. So we can just kind of continue our way down. Oh my gosh. I don't know why it doesn't always pick them all up, but I think it's because there's not enough. Anyways, back to digging. We're going to get a lot more blocks here, which is kind of a problem, but not that big of a deal. And like I said, we're looking for cadmium, but pretty much anything else we find is good. Let's just put all that moon turf in there. We don't need more cobblestone, granite, stone. I always have way too much stone. So yeah, definitely way too many blocks doing it this way, but it makes it a little bit nicer. I can put lights on the side, light things up just a little bit. But we do need to get down fairly deep, and I don't want to dig straight down because, well, gravity. Neptune is a bigger planet than Earth, so higher gravity. Jupiter is scary because it has such high gravity, so we're going to try to avoid that planet. But we want to go to about, let's go Y20. Let's go all the way down to Y20. And then we'll kind of dig around. That is a bunch of ore. So that's what we're looking for. To get rid of all this stone. Gravel and what else? Andesite. We don't need marble. Cadmium. Cool. So this is all cadmium ore. Let's just pick it with our pickaxe. There is a lot of it here, which is really nice. But yeah, you kind of get the idea. We don't really need to worry about getting all that much of this stuff right now. But obviously, we want to get down to a level where we can mine a huge pocket of it and get all of the goodies that we can ever want. So just fill that back in. I think I do want to still go down to Y20. And we'll get rid of some stuff if we need to. This is 22. 20. And then just dig like this. We're going to get some more cadmium. Wow, there's so much of it. It's pretty plentiful. So I'm not too worried about finding it. Let's just grab a little bit more, and we can always come back and get more. That's not going to be that difficult anymore. It's just going to require us to put on our spacesuit and come out here. Oh my gosh, there's so much of it. Alright, let's get rid of some stuff. We don't want andesite. We don't need stone. I'm just going to delete a lot of the stuff. Stone. More stone, I guess. We'll get rid of those 2 stacks. Just grab a bunch of stuff. Throw it on the ground. We're going to put ores in here instead of stone. And all this moon turf, which we have no use for. Okay. This looks a little bit better, and then, oops. Can also put the osmium in there. And yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so now we can delete some of this stuff. Let's get rid of all this stone. We have moon turf. We're gonna switch these around. Oh man, organizing inventories, always fun. Anyways, so let's get out of here. I'm going to take the spaceship up to the space station again, the rocket back up to the space station, and then work our way to Mercury. And then that is where I will join you guys again, and we will basically do the exact same thing we just did for that planet too. So I will be back once we're on Mercury. Alright, and here we are once more, ready to go down to Mercury. We just have to go down to the surface of the planet, make our little base, come back up with the rocket, and that is that. We should not have to do any more space travel whatsoever. I did go, by the way, and empty out my inventory just a little bit because it was a little full. Bad thing about all the 5x5 digging is we're going to have a lot more junk that we don't really want. But yeah, Mercury is the last planet that we absolutely have to go to. We can go to other planets at a later date. We might. I don't know if we will or not. I don't believe it's required. I believe these are the only 4 planets you technically have to go to, or you can go to the other solar system, and there is some other planets you can go to that you can get like all of the ores, but they're in much less quantities. And hopefully this is actually a red planet. It looks like it is. It doesn't look like the moon, or the way the Mars did look like the moon. So that's good. But we got to go down to the surface. Here the gravity should be pretty low because Mercury is quite a small planet. But it kind of scared me, the noise. I wasn't expecting the noise. We'll see if there are mobs or anything where we have a different type of beehive. It's the whatchamacallit, the desert ones, and it looks like there are mobs here. Let's take a quick look. I don't see any on the surface though, so that's good. But I hear a skeleton, so yeah, we have mobs. So this is a planet we might want to make a little bit more secure. But let's go ahead and place down that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just finish this up. And we'll just make a little bit more of a base. The F7 doesn't look like anything can spawn on the surface, which is good. But we're gonna grab some mercury ore, and we're not gonna get that much right now. Just need a little bit. And then what we're gonna do is actually just head back to the overworld. And what I want to do is get a little bit of stuff crafted up for today, but not much. So mercury, I believe that's how you spell it. Yes. Okay. So we need to find some mercury ore, and well, turns out the mercury ore is really low. So we're gonna go down to Y level 5, Y level 10. I think Y level 10 will be fine. So oxidized ferric sand. Interesting. That's kind of cool. It's not used for anything, but alright, so if we do this and just get going just a little bit, and then we can just start digging our way downwards. Again, we're gonna run out of inventory very quickly, but shouldn't be too bad. And I don't know that there's anything special. So advanced rocketry is not like Galacticraft. Galacticraft is the other fairly prominent space traveling mod, and it was always one that was kind of fun. I haven't played with newer versions of Galacticraft. I've heard they are a lot different, but the big thing is like there was more powerful mobs. That is not the case for advanced rocketry. It's all standard. It's just they can spawn. I don't even think they have anything special. Like, no, they don't have any oxygen or anything like that, which, apart from creepers, they're all dead, and spiders, I guess, but they're all dead anyway, so shouldn't need anything. Anyways, let's go ahead and put all the stone in here and continue working our way down. So we're only at 49. Put another piece of cobblestone there. And of course, I'd run into a ravine. Yep, I can see a skeleton over there. So there is one more planet. Actually, I lied. There is one more place we might want to look into at some point. But we'll kind of see about that. I don't know if it's going to be needed necessarily, but we can actually get more titanium from, it's actually not a planet, but rather a, why is it, sometimes it doesn't, because we just got cobblestone, didn't we? That was weird. Oops. It's actually not a planet, but an asteroid. There are some asteroids that will give us, yeah, we're getting cobblestone. That is strange. That should not be happening. Oh well. Let's go ahead and just fill this in just a little bit more. And then continue our dig. Why is that happening? That's very strange. Alright, we'll just do this. Doesn't matter too much. To me, at least. So we'll just continue digging down. We need to go down to y equals 5-ish, 10-ish, somewhere around there. 10 should be fine, to be honest. Oops. Did that again. Do that. Cool. We'll get some lights in here. Alright. Not bad. So yeah, we are going to find some mercury ore. We don't need that much, to be honest. I don't anticipate making too many electrolytic cores, but we're going to need a few. So it'll be good to have. Let's see, this is not a full stack. Alright, cool. So let's just continue going down. But I want to be able to get more if we need to later. And then, of course, when we come here for mining, at a certain point, we're going to want to have a. Oh, there are spiders down here. Okay. At some point, we're going to want to have a different type of mining device. We're going to have a digital miner, which is super powerful and useful and amazing, and I love them. Which is going to allow us to basically just get whatever we want immediately, whenever we want. So it's pretty good, to say the least. And then we'll just have to come here, set that up, and wait a while. It actually mines for us, so we don't have to worry about anything. I'm just going to fill this in vaguely. And it sounds like we have some lava coming up, so that is a bummer. And this is mercury ore. Okay, we found some. I'm going to put a light there. We are going to dump some things in here. And oxidize, sure. So let's just pick up some of this mercury ore. And we don't really need that much of it, so this should be more than enough. Because like I said, it's mostly used for making the electrolytic cores, and we only need like maybe 2 of those. So, alright, back up to the surface we go. And then we will take a rocket back to the space station. And from there we can just teleport around. So, the biggest part about this whole thing was getting access to all the planets so that we can easily return to them as needed. And I think we've done exactly that. So, mission accomplished. Yeah. Let's work our way up. And I'm going to add some lights here. I could add, like, you know, a bunch of staircases or something like that, but there's not much reason to, especially on this planet. But by the time we get around to doing all of this stuff with, like, getting more and more, how do I want to say it? If we need to come back here for Mercury, or any of the ores really, we're probably going to have access to the digital miner. So we're just going to kind of worry about that when we have the digital miner. So let's head back to the space station, and then we can teleport home. And before we end the episode, I do want to go ahead and make the basic, let's see, the energy cube. So there's 5 tiers, creative being the last tier. So there's only 4 tiers, rather. And they all require the previous version, so we're going to make just the first one. It does require a steel casing, though. I don't know if we have that, so we'll take a look. But otherwise, that will be pretty much it for the episode. This episode did not do as much as we didn't get as much done as I thought we were going to, but that's okay. That kind of stuff happens. We had some issues. Oh man, I'm glad the space traveling is pretty much over because it's been rough. All right, we're in space now. Let's refill that. It's been a little rough just because of dumb mistakes that I've made and whatnot. But it happens. Anyways, we should be landing relatively soon onto our space station, which I've said this before. I really like the space station. I'm not a super big fan of the weakened diamonds, the blocks that we use, but they're okay. But I love the shape of it and just kind of how it looks. It's really cool. It's a spaceship. We could make other things to it, but don't really care. Anyways, with that, the rocket is back here. Let's go ahead and I want to let's just put a stack of stone in there. That'll be fine. I want to grab the space station ID chip, and that will go in here. Alright, let's go home. So, we're going to see if we can make a steel casing right off the bat. Oops. And if we can't, then we might go ahead and end the episode here. Can we make one of these real quick? We're missing titanium, so no. So I will tell you guys what. I'm going to end the episode off here. Next time, we are going to start working on Mekanism and actually starting a little bit of a, well, we're gonna get some of the Mekanism stuff kind of sorted. We're gonna start getting hopefully to the new power generation. It's gonna be somewhat complicated because the gas burning generator we can now make. Requires an electrolytic core. It requires a bunch of other things too that I don't know how easy they're going to be, but we'll find out. But the big thing is the electrolytic core requires liquid mercury, which we have access to now. And I'm going to make a bunch of the enriched alloys, I believe, and probably get as many steel casings as I can. I'll probably figure out how many we're going to actually need. But most of this other stuff is not too awful. Yeah, that's actually not that bad. So we'll make the gas burning generator. We'll also need ethylene. Ethylene comes from a PRC, or pressurized reaction chamber, which requires an enrichment chamber and some other stuff, which most of the stuff is pretty easy. Osmium, steel. Yeah, most of it's pretty easy and straightforward. But we're going to be making pressurized reaction chamber to get the ethylene. And then we can use the ethylene in the gas burning generator to make, well, energy. We can also use it to make substrates, which is really important because we'll also need to use it to make HDPE pellets that will give us plastics. And those are going to be used for some stuff later as well. So a lot of things to kind of work towards. One of the big things we're going to need as well is the solar neutron activators. They're not that difficult, but we are going to need more steel casing. So a lot of work to do, a lot of things to get into before we can get to the next age, which is the Draconic Age. And yeah, that's going to be fun, but it's also going to be super expensive, and we're going to need to set up a bunch more things before we can get to that point. So a lot of work to do still, but we'll get there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!